The Toyota Tacoma proves my parents were wrong. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Robmotive. Now, first of all, this is kind of it's meant to be a humorous video. So if you don't get the humor, well, then I guess I failed. But anyway, the subject of this video is that my parents were wrong, and the Toyota Tacoma has convinced me of it. Now, what I'm talking about is cleanliness. You know, when you were a little kid, at least me, parents were always trying to tell you to clean your room, put things away, throw away the garbage, take a shower, for God's sake. You know, I never liked doing any of that. Not that I was some kind of stinky kid. I was just too busy or too lazy. I didn't want to do anything of that. And throw stuff away, clean my room, who wants to do that? I think I struggle from that still as far as the garage goes. My wife is always on me about cleaning up my clutter. There's too much stuff in the garage. The snakes can hide anywhere in here. They can crawl underneath everything. And she's probably right, and I hate snakes and spiders and bugs and all that kind of stuff and rats. But anyway, I'm talking about keeping the Toyota Tacoma clean. And I know there's a lot of you out there who do it religiously. You know, you'll wash your truck every other day or at least once a week, something like that, to keep it nice and shiny. You know, it reminds me of a long time ago. I had a Porsche, it was a Cayman, I think it was. And I cleaned that thing up, had it all nice and shiny, and I decided I was going to take it for a ride. Now, on that particular day, it was a little cloudy outside. I don't think they really called for rain, but I lived in Ohio. And in Ohio, it's like living in England. It seems to rain almost every day, right? But I thought I was safe. So I jumped in my all shined up. I even waxed it. I did the wheels. The thing looked spotless. I jumped in it. I headed out. I was probably about 5 or 10 miles away from home, something like that. And it starts to pour. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I couldn't even keep that car clean for 1 hour after I was done. Now that kind of spoiled me, I guess, on keeping trucks clean. I know it's a Porsche as compared to a truck, but the same principle, right? You want it to be clean and shiny. And don't get me wrong, I love to have a clean truck. It looks awesome, all nice and shiny and polished up and waxed and all that stuff, especially this magnetic gray metallic paint. Those little metallic, you know, flakes shine and sparkle in the sunshine. It's awesome. It's a great feeling. But after I do it and take it for a ride, you know, it never fails. When I leave the area I leave, you know, down here in South Texas, if you want to have green grass or trees or anything that grows, you kind of have to do some watering because we don't get a ton of rain, which is nice for keeping things clean, except for the dust and the pollen and all that stuff and the birds. But because people water all the time, it collects everywhere, right in those curb areas, right? So I'm leaving the subdivision, and I've got to go through one of those, and sure enough, every day it's full of water. So I inch out. It doesn't really matter. It gets in the tread in your tires, and as soon as you speed up, it throws it all down the side of your truck, especially mine, because I have some wheel poke, right? One of the reasons to not have wheel poke, I guess, if you're a clean freak when it comes to your Tacoma, you don't want it throwing stuff all over the sides. But that's what happened to me. So every time I clean the truck, and then I go to take it out, first of all, from just sitting, it has a fine layer of dust on it. Every time I do it. And it doesn't take long. It's typically the next day. But when I go out, I always hit these stupid little puddles from people watering, and it ruins the job anyway. Right now, my Toyota Tacoma is filthy. And I'll tell you another story that doesn't help here in a minute. But I get to thinking, why do I even bother? Because I know that it's going to be dirty almost immediately, especially if I'm going to drive it right away. But lately, I've been leaving the truck parked outside in the driveway. And beside my house, at the neighbors, they have these, I don't know, 30-foot tall, whatever it is, palm trees. And once or twice a year, maybe more often, they put out these shoots that have little buds on them that have flowers that turn into these little hard, I don't know if they're seeds, berries, whatever they are, but the squirrels love them. So the squirrels come, my truck is parked not right under it, but close enough. The squirrels come and they want to eat these things. So they crawl up in the trees. And of course, the first thing that happens is anything that's loose, like little pieces of bark, little pieces of plant, whatever, fall down. The wind catches them. They glide to wherever my truck is. And I do think they have brains. I think they consciously seek out my truck because I see all these things laying all over my hood. But even worse, when I'm in the garage doing mods to other things or doing other things to my other vehicles, I hear these little kind of tinks, like hits, you know, where these little berries that the squirrels miss, because let's be honest, they never eat anything fully. They grab it, they take a bite, whatever, or they just shake the other ones loose, and those fall down, and they end up tinking, my word, off of my hood. Sometimes they don't completely fall off. They fall in where the windshield wipers are. And there's nothing worse when you need your windshield wipers when there's a bunch of gunk sitting up against them. And then you turn them on, and of course they don't clean the windshield because all the stuff is on there and it's stopping the blade from contacting the windshield. But this happens to me almost daily while we're in the season where all these little berry type things form. And don't get me started on birds. You know, we have a lot of birds down here. We have a lot of big birds too. And of course that means you get a lot of big bird messes, if you know what I mean. So I get all that all over the truck as well. So I start to think, you know, gee, my parents were wrong. There's no reason to clean stuff every day or keep things nice and clean like my Toyota Tacoma, because it's just gonna get dirty again. The birds are gonna take care of it. The squirrels are gonna take care of it. Just the environment is going to leave things deposited all over my truck. I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at the hood, and it's filthy dirty. And what's worse is when we do get rain, it's like sprinkles, right? And these sprinkles come down, and they're like little water bombs. They hit the surface. It's like a meteor hitting, right? You ever seen some pictures of that kind of thing or video where the meteor hits, forms a crater, and then everything else just kind of spreads out to the side? It's kind of what my hood looks like. I have all these little dimply looking things. They're not, but little dimply looking things where the water drops have hit the hood where all the dirt is. I'll show you a picture of it. It's filthy dirty. But I think, gee, that's how my truck always looks. And for those out there that talk about it's a truck, it doesn't have to be clean. This is one instance where I would agree with them. It is a truck. Let's just make it broad. It is a vehicle, and it doesn't have to be clean because, frankly, as soon as you get it done, it starts getting dirty immediately. My parents were wrong. There is no reason to clean your room or throw away your stuff or keep your Toyota Tacoma clean. As for the shower part, yeah, you do need to take showers. Otherwise, it's just going to be kind of stanky. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know if you agree. You wash your truck religiously, or you like me and it's like, man, it's just going to get dirty anyway. I only do it once in a while. I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Robmotive JT, all about the Jeep Gladiator, and Robmotive Rides, all about the Mercedes-Benz. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.